Hello and welcome to yet another cast. Today for you I have a 4v4 team matchmaker game played on Plateau of Arracis. So let's get started. This game was sent to me by my fellow streamer, good friend, brother, whatever you want to call him, the Gaming Pie up here in the Northern team. And yeah. Let's get into player introductions. We have Team 1 right here up at the top as the red team, and the blue team down here in the south as Team 2. And let's get started with player introductions. We have Idaho in yellow going UEF, opening first land. Right here at the westernmost position for the northern team. Then to the east of that, in this burgundy red, we have Gambler CZ. I'm just gonna call them Gambler. Going Aeon, opening first land. To the east of that we have fellow streamer, the Gaming Pie, who I also stream with quite a bit on Fridays. Link to that will be can be found on the channel, sadly not in the description, since YouTube just doesn't like me putting links in the description. Anyway, in red, going Cybran, opening first land. And to the south of that we have Prevent in orange, going Seraphim, opening first land. Now for the southern team, in their easternmost position we have Logan 1 Kenobi in cyan, going Cybran, opening first land. To the west of that, in dark blue, we have Worgen Freeman, going Seraphim, opening first land. To the west of that, in normal blue, we have Docus, going UEF, opening first air. And to the north of that, in purple, we have Basil F, going Aeon, opening first land. Right, with player interactions out of the way, this game is quite low rated, however it is still worth watching, especially for the later half. And yeah. Plateau of Arracis, most players know it, most players have an opinion about it, they either hate it or love it. I don't think there's much in the middle of that. And yeah, you have these clumps of reclaim in the bag for the air players. Pi already having reclaimed most of that. And just some reclaim generally spread around everywhere, with these civilian structures and units spread around the middle line, providing some additional reclaim if you actually have the APM to or the APM to manually reclaim all of those, since those aren't hostile and thus you need to reclaim them manually. You can't just attack them and move engineers to auto reclaim after. But rating wise, as I already said, it's low rated, the lowest rated player being Logan 1 Kenobi at 229, the highest Docus I believe at 1043. Since this is on Matchmaker, we get the exact ratings. And yeah, something to be aware of, Pi is not really that comfortable in air. So it's really interesting to see him play air. I mean, not like he got a choice, he just got placed there due to Matchmaker, but probably not really comfortable in that slot. And already first gun upgrade, a speed upgrade going out for Gambler. Right here in the middle. In the meantime, second air factory already going up for Docus. Pi also already on the second air factory, however not nearly as far, due to going first land and not for first air like Docus. That also, however, leads to the other side, where Pi has already started air production up, while Docus still needs to build more energies out of that factory. An air factory also out for Basil. And I think those are the air factories for the southern team. For the northern team, are there any additional air factories out? Not yet, however, there is one queued up for Prevent. And it's now being built, okay. Who has already 5 land factories. Quite ambitious early on. Yeah, that is basically only sustainable by reclaim, with the amount of mass that these will draw. And this early eco, of course, not really being sufficient to sustain that. But some early offensive play coming out, running into a small force of Mantises from Logan 1 Kenobi. And thus basically being forced back immediately due to those being on basically equal footing with the same amount of units right there. But also more coming in for Logan 1 Kenobi. And thus forcing this back, the ACU dealing with the rest of these tanks, with one just running by, basically unopposed. Plateau Eastern Plateau currently seemingly under control of the Northern team, Western one under control of the Southern team, and Idaho has already made a play for this plateau up here. A very important plateau to get, since that is 3 maxes and quite a bit of build space. And factories up there also are very important to actually contest the player that claims this plateau, that claims these plateaus. So you definitely want to grab these corner ring plateaus. Right. Wogen Freemen now moving up with their comm into the middle, as well as a small contingent of units. However, Gambler already having a double gun, I believe that is advanced range already. Let me check. Yes, that is the advanced range upgrade. Massively increasing range. I believe that the range of that upgrade has actually been buffed and is now higher than the base gun range upgrade increase that you get in the base game. Of course, with one of the more recent, or with the biggest balance patch in recent history, the gun range has been massively improved. Or the generally the gun upgrade for the Aeon has been massively reworked, with the gun range upgrade being split into 2 levels in an effort to make the basic gun range upgrade way less oppressing, as that was pretty cheap for the fact that you could basically just infinitely kite away at enemy ACUs. But a small run by now also coming in from Prevent, trying to support this push. And Idaho also moving up behind that, or with that unupgraded commander doing some damage as well. No gun upgrades out for the southern team, I believe. No. However, there are already quite a few T2 maxes out for Docus. Let's see. Pi also already on T2 maxes. And I think on total amount of T2 maxes, Pi is actually ahead. However, these... Wait, are these... They're more capped? I believe Pi actually also has more capped, so... Never mind that. Well, okay, not quite, but definitely more upgraded, so that is already an advantage. Also already at T2 Air, bidding that T2 Pigeon. T2 Air also already achieved by Docus, who has the Pigeons queued up, but not yet bid. And also queued up in a way that they obstruct even more of the adjacency for the mass extractors. I'd say it's questionable, but it's their decision, so yeah, whatever. Right, Idaho and Gambler now being pushed back by large amounts of units. However, there are reinforcements coming in from Prevent, And Logan, One Kenobi, is now forced to focus up here as well to support, which leaves this entire area open. Though it does not appear to be any play for it right now to take that. And nice to see this plateau has been dropped by Pi. The mirror plateau has not been dropped. And that is, of course, that is going to put Pi also at a equal advantage compared to his mirror opponent, as well as the fact that currently Walking Freeman grab this max step traditionally gets claimed by the air player. So let's take a look at the economies. They are very close, however the northern team is around 30 mass ahead right now. A gap that will only increase, I believe. As once you got an eco advantage, it's very easy to just use that additional eco on even more eco and just snowball even faster than your opponent. Logan One Kenobi now being pressured by Gambler's ACU and taking quite a bit of damage. Walking Freeman also being in the yellow already. But a Cerberus turret has been thrown up in an effort to defend. With that being said, there is now a play out from Prevent to take over this general area. And Idaho is now also pressuring in the north up here, contesting this island. So map control is split around this area, which I'd say is around a third or something around that. Yeah, a third to 2/5 of the map, I'd guess, which now belongs to the northern team. About 2 ACUs right here, Walking Freeman very low, being focused down, going down below 500, below 400, still alive right now, and Janus just dealing heavy damage now to these ACUs, 140 HP. Are they getting away? Well, Gambler seems to be dying right here to just Janus's. The Docus seems to have gone for a focus on T2 air. I think that the that Gambler dying may have just also caused Walking Freeman to die in the explosion. But at the same time, Idaho very low, about to die as well. Pi just gifted over the stuff he just got from Gambler dying to Idaho, who basically died in that exact same moment. So I guess it will go back to Pi, who has achieved T3 air. A very important achievement. The opponent on air with Docus still only at T2. So ASF reduction will probably start up very soon, which will allow Pi to get a significant advantage on the air game and deny future drops like this. However, there are quite a few Janus around. There are also a few intis out for Pi that he is trying to use to defend. But yeah, not very effectively, and Prevent is now taking heavy damage from the Januses. And may actually go down to this. Inti is also going out for Prevent, but oh, Prevent not actually spending his not spending the eco. And neither seems Pi, but I think that is excusable considering the fact that he got gifted over a 2-whole basis and is currently trying to just get build power out. Doesn't have the build power to actually spend the eco of 3 bases, so fair enough. Prevent now under major threat from the Januses as well, still, with Docus just brute forcing the ASF by using large amounts of intis. Not a good strategy, but if you have large amounts of inties, it still does work, so whatever. And slowly taking all of this out. But there are even more Janus coming in, and prevent is pretty low, so I believe this is the next common action. Never mind, not quite. Down to 740 HP. And even more dropping. Down to 600, below 600. Okay, only one Janus left. One Janus that is going down. However, there is another Janus. The com is down below 700. And the bombs drop right on top of it, and the com goes down. Yes, here it is. And thus, everyone but the Gaming Pi has already been defeated now. Making this a 1v3. Pi being the third highest rated player in this game. Two players on the opposing team actually have a higher rating, with Docus at 1k and Basil at a slightly higher rating. However, Docus is still working on T3R, while Pi is already getting his second T3P gem. And is now getting a lot more factories, just a whole bunch of T2. And okay, currently no play to get a better UEF tech. Fair enough. But he started producing out of all of his factories. And he is also producing out of this, and is getting additional T2 Seraphim factories as well. I would love to see these two producing as well, and if it's just for some additional NGs to get more build power out. Is he spending his mass right now? He is, okay. So I can't be too critical since it seems to be working right now. Also, T3 land has been achieved by, I believe that was Gambler. Wait, I think it has been achieved by Pi after he took this over. But this formerly belonged to Gambler, so I guess I can give the credits somewhat. And there are now Arracis and... not Arracis. Now Harbingers and Redeemers being built in order to stock up this army with some T3 and even some T3 air defenses. Reasonable after the heavy T2 air investment of the opponent, who has now achieved T3 air. And is denying himself, or themselves, even more adjacency on this max by only leaving one space for adjacency, by building right next to it with this. Also in a way that the PGN doesn't actually give adjacency to any of these factories. I'd say it's very questionable, but it's their decision, so I'm gonna just leave it with that. Pi going stealth, I assume to just not get sniped, as a 1v3 also leaves the risk of just being sniped, due to the fact that it's only one ACU that needs to die. And some idle factories with Pi currently floating mass again. And not only floating, but also not spending his mass. Okay, second T3P gen going up. And any tier 3 maxes yet? Yes, there's actually one already done. Right here. Okay. How's scouting looking? There definitely needs to be a lot of scouting down here because most of the shit is unknown. There is however an Omni down here, so he at least gets the radar coverage. In the meantime, the Southern team has done no scouting at all, so Pi is still doing a lot more scouting than the opponent, I guess. Right, and there's the scout from Pi out to actually figure out what the opponent is doing. now with this being scouted. So with this, let's take a look at economy. We have 344 mass income from Pi, who is on quadruple base. You would expect him to be at the highest eco of the game, of course, with 4 bases. And in total 322 from everyone in the southern team, meaning that Pi out-ecos the entire southern team with his 4 bases. Centralized economy, of course, has the advantage of allowing you to spend a lot more on just getting your eco up, and thus allows faster eco scaling at the trade-off that you are spending that you are technically spending less on your spam production. But there's only so much one player can micro, so I guess that is a fair trade-off. Okay, the northern plateau, this western plateau is now just being overrun by this massive T1 push out from Pi, taking out the Maxes and doing some damage, taking out BDs, which puts the southern team at even more of a map control disadvantage. Would love to see these Maxes being taken. Also, there's a lot of stuff to be reclaimed right here, but... Right. Pi is overflowing mass, so... I guess it is also somewhat fair. Looking at reclaim... It is looking heavily in favor of Team 2, but... Reclaim doesn't really make up for just general mass being produced. And the northern team has been ahead on total mass produced as well, so with that, reclaim is still very important, but especially if you can't spend your mass, it's better that as long as you can actually keep the these reclaim fields secured, just leave it be and not just waste it by reclaiming it. AGC being built with increasing amounts of build power, I believe. Okay, no longer increasing amounts of build power. But going up very fast. And there are now forces building up on every side for Pi due to the enormous amount of land factories, a lot of which are T2, which provides a large amount of high quality units. Especially with Seraphim and Aeon T2, with the Obsidian for Aeon of course being very tanky and having very decent DPS, especially with that high alpha, though a low range, but that I think that is acceptable, and also having access to the shields, and Seraphim of course having the Shiva, which is famously very, very powerful, the most powerful T2 unit. Also some T3 down here as well. There was a small run by Logan 1 Kenobi, taking out the small production facilities, but that was one max and a few factories, nothing too important, so I don't think it will matter too much. Basilev going for shield, also wanting to avoid getting sniped, and a lot of cannons now going up for Dokus, as well as a major expansion of the aircraft. Though one of the air factories is idle, I have to criticize that. And this T2 land HQ for Logan 1 Kenobi is going tier 3. Logan 1 Kenobi only being at 52 mass income and thus, yes, stalling very heavily. A lot more than you should ever be stalling. There is quite a bit of reclaim to be had around this, in these areas seem to be uncontested, and okay, reclaim has been queued up, so they are working on that. A major army mostly consisting of T1 now collecting for Pi up here. These factories in the back here have gone to T2 now though, so this will be reinforced with some pillars, I guess, with some T2 forces, and Pi achieved T3 on the UEF HQ as well, meaning that there will be Titans and Percival's coming out very soon, with this GC about to finish, which is a massive benefit for Pi, as that is going to be the first experimental on the playing field, I think. Don't see any other experimentals currently started, so yes. Yes, it is. And there is no real T3 out yet, no large-scale production of T3 out yet for the southern team. There is some T3 being built up by Basil, but I think... oh, never mind, there are actually currently 3 factories producing it, with another one currently being upgraded. So that is somewhat large scale, that may be able to deal with the GC, though the tractor class of the GC are very effective at dealing with armies, making the best counter to the GC another experimental, since those can't be sucked up, and armies are generally very... normal armies are very susceptible to just being killed by the tractor class. Pi stopped expanding the air grid only at 4 air factories, 2 of which are idle. Is he... okay, he's massively stalling mass now, so I guess it's fair. He is already using enough build power, and with... I think these ASF are going to be sufficient to decide this game. Even with a bigger air grid going up for Docus. There is a lot of AA in the army for Pi, a lot of which is T3 AA, that will be able to deal with any attempted airplay out from the southern team, and also take out ASF. GC about to hit the front line and merge up with this army force. I think Pi may be power stalling right now. Yeah, he just paused for a moment, with all the shields flickering off. Luckily, after disabled shields recharge very quickly. At least if they were disabled due to power stall or just manually turned off. It of course takes a bit longer if the shield was just depleted. The GC now hit the front line. Massive armies have been collected basically on every flank. So let's see if there is going to be a push. I assume there is. Base standing, of course, taking up APM right now, and well, I guess base standing is currently just taking up the APM of Pi. Reasonable. There's only... it's hard to be at 2 different positions on the map at the same time. Even if you have a lot of APM, you can only focus on one area of the map with those. Except, of course, you play completely zoomed out and are very good at multitasking. And, okay, the army just started pushing now. Some T2 PD was was built up by the southern team, mostly Basilev and Logan 1 Kenobi. Maybe an attempt to just creep up on that and prevent it from pushing. You'll see how successful that was. The PD is completely dead. And the push is now moving in. GC sucking up these units. And not really much to prevent this. There's a large wall of T2PD right down here in the on the approaches of Logan 1 Kenobi. The thing with PDs like this is that you can just walk past them. Also, it's only servo turrets, so they don't do too much damage. They need to focus down on single targets to actually take them out, since otherwise the low TPS of the servo turret is not going to be sufficient to do a significant amount of damage to this army, especially with these shield generators and explosives in this unit mix. Right, a push now starting in this from this force as well, forcing these units here to push forward to counter that, and leaving this push or this flank completely open to be pushed in by HGC. HGC is being built by Basil, which is about to finish. However, there is Pi's GC has already vetted, and thus is at a larger has a larger HP pool and also got some initial damage already off. Of course, some suboptimal macroing there of Pi's GC, just moving past that, not being able to fire due to the angles on that eye, but turning just in time and having more HP, so this GC will probably go down. Sorry about that. And with that, I suspect that this GC will vet again, giving it a whole bunch of extra HP. Yes, just did. Also, the large amounts of T2 and some T3 units are going to be very effective, since there aren't any real defenses down here. The AA now just taking out the Cannons and the ASF. The ASF mostly being taken out by these Cougars, but there is also quite a bit of lag here, which is just shredding these cannon drones, as those have a very low HP pool, and Dazzle now just being focused down by the GC, about to go down, and here's the second comm kill for the Northern team. The Aggro now being just killed off by this force, since you can't really defend against, if you don't really have anything to defend, this Aggro is just going to die. And this push down here, and this force down here pushed up a bit further, taking out most of the units that were collected around here and forcing them to push back. At the same time, the units up here killed the counter push of Dazzle and are now just taking out this area, with more reinforcements currently coming in. Currently, okay, this factory has been upgraded to T3. There is another GC that is currently just standing still. And any further T3 currently being built? It doesn't look like it. I mean, there's the UAF T3 that I already pointed out, but yeah, those factories stay at T2. So I guess T3 is currently just A on T3, with a bit support of the UAF units. Docus also already very low, pulling back, but having taken quite a beating from the explosives. And of course also the fact that GC is here, already 75,000 mass killed. A singular shot from a Pursuit now taking out the ACU. Equalizing the kills, making this to a 1v1, where Pi is at a massive rating and also map control advantage. Also a massive eco advantage at 588 against 200. Is this mass currently being spent? Not even remotely. That's a whole bunch of mass wasted. On the other hand, even, the mass Pi is currently spending is still more than Logan 1 Kenobi is making, so in the grand scheme of things it is good. It is okay. It could be better, but I guess it's good enough. The one of the important things here being is when you have an eco advantage, you should at least try to spend more mass than your opponent if you can't properly spend your mass. I'm sorry that you weren't able to actually watch this game being casted live. I'm very sorry about that. You can still catch it on YouTube though. And yeah, a Monkey Lord has been finished up for Logan 1 Kenobi, but the large amounts of units down here have led that to just melt. However, it did deal enough damage that the spam out from Logan were able to kill the GC. At least the first GC. And here we have a Tsar queued up from Pi. Now that air control is firmly under his control, with the air grid of the opponent being completely dead. And also not a large amount of air defenses. But this massive land push will just break all this PD. There are also LMLs in here that will just outrange this, so this base will not survive this. There's no real chance that this base can get out of this alive. Logan trying to build up another Monkey Lord, however, it is now being attacked by this massive army, with the build power now going down. And also the Monkey Lord only being 18% down or something like that, thus not really finishing. His ACU or their ACU running down to this corner, trying to hide. However, Pi does have Omni coverage. Pi is power stalling and thus does not have Omni coverage, so he can't actually see the AACU. Curious. But there are scouts in the air, those will just try to figure out where the ACU is hiding. Yeah, and those are flying directly over the areas that the ACU is hiding at. And Logan 1 Kenobi deciding to focus down a singular spy plane with these ASF, instead of just macroing them normally. And thus being at a major disadvantage with this small engagement right here. The Tsar has been finished by Pi, and I believe he now has found the ACU. Yes, he found the last remaining unit, the ACU. Well, okay, the last remaining land unit, and has it targeted by the Tsar, I believe. So ending this game in style. Also, if that shouldn't be enough for some reason, which I doubt, there is this major land force that will definitely kill this ACU. The GGs are going out, and some compliments from the enemy team, since, I mean, it was a 1v3 for the majority of this game, also giving him the style points for doing it with the Tsar. Experimental, you don't really see that often. But yeah, with that, I hope you enjoyed this great comeback, and hope to see you again in a future cast or in a stream. This game was casted live on Twitch. If Twitch wasn't being if YouTube wasn't being so annoying about not allowing me to put links into my description right now, I would put a link to my Twitch and also Gaming Pi's channels into the description. That will have to wait though, so I hope I can remember it as soon as I can add links to also add the link to Gaming Pi's channel. Anyway, hope you enjoyed, hope to see you again in a future piece of content I make, so future cast or future stream, whatever it will be. Till then, hope you enjoyed and bye!